Hey, what's up YouTubers? Lee John Blackmore here at Super Easy Guitar. So this week I want to show you something super powerful on the guitar. It will change your playing forever. I'm going to teach you how to work out the relative major and minor for every single key without having to memorize it. You can just use the fretboard using one scale, just the pentatonic scale. Now what does this mean? This means that regardless if a song is in a minor key or a major key, you'll be able to play over it. So you're most likely to have learned the minor pentatonic scale. I'm going to show you how you can use that playing over a major chord as well, and it's going to sound great. Before I get into it, guys, don't forget I've got some links below for Spotify and Instagram and Facebook if you want to send me any requests, okay? So check those out. Now, without further ado, let's zoom in and get straight into it. So if you're watching this video, I would expect you to know the A minor pentatonic or whatever, it doesn't matter what key, the minor pentatonic position. Okay, and what you need to know are all the string names on this bottom E string. So, you know, E, F, F sharp G, G sharp A sharp B, C, C sharp D, D sharp E. You have to know those guys, okay? Otherwise, this will not work. All right, so if you're not sure what I'm talking about, you need to check out one of my links below and familiarize yourself with it, okay? So let's just say we're in the key of A minor. So there's a song in the key of A minor, your friend's playing it or whatever, you're listening to a backing track in the key of A minor and you're like, I can play over that. Okay, and it's going to work beautifully. Then suddenly you come across a video, but it's in A major, not A minor, and you realize, oh, it doesn't quite work over the top of an A major. Okay, what we need to do for an A major so I'm going to show you different ways to play it. So first of all, when we're playing a major, we need to find out what the relative minor is. So what do I mean by that? So the way to think about this is every single chord, major or minor, it has an equal opposite, okay? And that chord will work perfectly in harmony. So for example, A minor, its equal opposite is what we call its relative major, is C major. So they'll always work beautifully together, and in fact there's millions of songs you see A minor and then it goes to C or the other way around. And that's because they're relative chords, okay? They work in harmony together, right? So when you're playing an A major, or when there's a song being played that's in the key of E major, you want to be able to know what the relative minor is, so then we can use our pentatonic minor shape over it, all right? Now, this is something you can learn off by heart, but there's an easier way of doing it than that, okay? And you can just use the fretboard, okay? Now, I know A major, because I've played it so many times, its relative minor is F sharp minor, okay? So what happened there? All I did, I played the minor pentatonic position that we all know really well, but I started on F sharp. Now, the reason that works is because in a normal major scale, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, when we get to the sixth note, that sixth note represents our relative minor. So that sixth note is F sharp. That can be a bit fiddly, especially if you don't know that scale, right? But we know the pentatonic, so there's an easier way of doing this. So because the key is A, what I do, I put my pinky where my first finger is. And then what I do, I pretend that I'm going to play the pentatonic minor shape here. But because, you know, our first finger lands in the second fret, we can start on that second fret note, which is F sharp, okay? So the key note is A, then we just go down 1, 2, 3, and then we play the minor pentatonic. And that will work beautifully over A major. Let's take another example. Let's say when we were talking about earlier, C major. You might know it there, but I'm playing it in bars. So this note here, the eighth note, where I'm starting, is C. So again, I want to put my pinky on that note, and then look, my first finger lands on A. So A minor is the relative minor to C major. Let's try another one. Let's say G. This could be a tricky one. Now, I want to put my pinky where my first finger is, but look what happens. I've actually run out of frets because there's only 2 frets. So guess what? You use the open. So O3, O2, O2, 2, O2, O3, O3. So it's E minor, right? And those chords will work beautifully together. Okay, let's do one more. Let's say D. So again, I'm going to put my pinky where my first finger is, and 3 frets. There's 2 frets in between. We count 3 frets down. So that 7th note there, the 7th note on the bottom E string, is B. So B minor is the relative minor to D major. Now, what if it's D minor? Then you just played the normal minor. If it's major, swap pinky, B minor. Okay, so that's the concept. That's the way to remember it. I mean, you can memorize these things after a while of just playing different keys constantly. You kind of get to know what they are, okay? But this is kind of a shortcut way to work it out. So I'm going to give you a little test here. I'm going to play you G sharp major. Nice and easy, right? So you swap the first finger with the pinky and lands on F. So it's F minor. So at the beginning, you saw me doing something slightly different. You saw me sliding up that scale. You didn't see me, well, I was doing both, right? So what's going on there? Well, I'm actually using exactly the same notes as the F sharp minor. It's just I know where to find them up here, okay? And it's what we call the extensions. So the minor pentatonic or the major pentatonic extensions, okay? So the way to find it is when you're in the major key, instead of swapping your first finger with your pinky, I mean, that's one way you could do it, right? That's the easy way of doing it. If you're more advanced and you want to play the extensions, you just do this, right? So instead of playing the 5th fret and the 8th fret, that would be the minor, right? So you go 5th fret, 7th fret, slide, go to the next string, and that's going to be 8, 9, go to the next string, 8, 9, slide to 11, 9 on the G, 11, 10 on the B. So forwards or backwards, it doesn't matter what you do. So it's always use the next fret, slide a whole tone, then you jump through that position. Now just follow your ear. Let's try it in G, so we'll go down to G major. Sorry, that's better. So it's going to be, there's just one fret in between for the major. Slide, next string, slide, next string. We got a little shift there, okay? So I'm using my 2nd finger. That's because, you know, the tuning slightly changes down there. So let's try in B. Okay, so there's B, a whole step, slide another whole step, next string, slide, next string, shift. You could keep going. Now, you can also do this for the minor as well, okay? Now, we already know the minor is this. But sometimes getting that pinky up there can be awkward. So what we do, now we're in the minor, so we swap it around. So I end up putting my 3rd finger where my 1st finger was. And I go down to the A string. Yeah. There's our little shift. So that's what you do for the minor. So the major, you start on the bottom E string. Okay. Then for the minor, I put my 3rd finger on the root. Then I go over to a whole step over to the A string. Stay on the A string, whole step up. Slide another whole step up. Next string. Slide a whole step up. And then our little shift. You could keep going again. Whole step. So you could go right up there. And I'm just following my ear, okay? So I want you to get used to that, guys. If you're trying to learn to play over songs, learn to use your ears a lot more, okay? So if you stumble on the wrong note, you're going to hear it, okay? Well, that's kind of the blues scale. Yeah, you can kind of get away with it. So it depends, all right? But you hear when it sounds correct or when it sounds wrong. It's something to practice. Practice along with backing tracks or just record yourself. Or major. So there you have it, guys. Hope you enjoyed this week's lesson. Please don't forget, give me the thumbs up, subscribe. I do these lessons every single week, and I'll see you again the same time next week. Enjoy.